So you got something?
Yeah, man. Um, so I'd like to preface this by saying,
I
disclaimer.
have one too. I have one
You
too.
do?
I do
Great.
have my own. And it's yeah. So
Do you want to go
I
first, or you
do
want me
have
to
my
go
home. I
first?
thought, yeah, no, you go first. You go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to hear yours because
I
I'm going
mean,
to try to play devil's advocate. But disclaimer. So this is a real life am I the asshole? So this is a situation that actually happened to me, and the person in question of who is the asshole is like, am I the asshole here for doing this?
like, am I like not
Like, am I
hypothetically?
the asshole?
Like,
No, like,
am
no, am
I?
I the asshole? Me, am I the
Right.
asshole? Yeah, this is not the general question of AI. No, this is am me. Am I the asshole
Right.
here for this situation? So,
Is zero the
okay,
asshole?
yeah, is Zero the asshole? So that sounds like a fun game. Uh, so so I was coming back. So okay, I was coming back from a trip I was coming back from a trip to LA
Hmm.
a few months back in February, and um, I came back. Flight was fine. Everything was fine. I get in the Uber, right, and the Uber guy brings me home,
Hmm.
and when he brings me home, he drops me off. I'm walking to my door. As I'm like, hey, see you later. Drive safe and stuff like that. I'm walking to my door. I stop. I stop. I stopped to turn around because a light went on in one of my neighbor's house. This is important because when I stop and I turn to look, the Uber driver reverses too fast and he hits a car. He hits a parked car that's on the side of the street that I'm on, and I'm like, oh shit. So I'm just sitting there watching, as black people tend to do, right? and
I'm not going
and
over
yeah,
there.
and I just watch, right? So he gets out of the car and he looks to see. I guess he looks to see the damage, and I'm like, yo, you good? He's like, yeah, I'm good. He gets in the car. He gets in the car and he takes off like
Shit.
he's gone, right? And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, fuck, that's crazy. So I'm like, I go inside the house, I greet my family, and this happened at night. This happened at night. So I greet my family, and then when everything settled down, I tell Lizzie, I'm like, yo, you won't believe what just happened. So I told her the story, and she's like, oh my god. So 2 days later, 2 days later, a person comes to our door, and I'm not here when he
Hmm.
does, but Izzy answers the door, and he's like, hey, my name is, I don't remember his name, but he's like, hey, my name is person, and my my car got damaged, and I'm wondering if you guys happen to see what happened on your Ring camera. And I'm like, oh, okay, because I'm like, I know exactly what happened, but like, I'm gonna let the Ring camera be culpable in this situation. So
Hmm.
I'm like, yeah, let me look for it. So I look for the footage, and for some reason, there's no tampering or anything involved. For some reason, the camera did not pick that exact moment. It did not pick up that exact moment. There was no motion sensor, and even in the live video, it skips over the 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 minute or so that the
Uh-huh.
thing happened. And I'm like, that's very strange. And so, I tell him, I'm like, hey man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't have anything. He's like, oh man, that sucks. He's like, well, do you know anything about who might have done this? And I'm like, I think about it, and I'm like, nah, nah, man, I don't know anything. So so then you know he leaves. He leaves. We go about our day. And I should also say I wasn't around, but I came upstairs as he was talking to him. So I should say that. That's why I was in the situation to begin with. So yeah, he leaves, close the door, and Izzy's like, "Why'd you say that?" And I'm like, "Look, I don't know. Like, look, listen, I don't want to get
Yeah, no.
involved. I'm like, I don't want to get involved. Like, look, I don't want to get involved. I don't know. I don't know. like, I don't know what that
Really
could
got shit to do
mean."
with me.
And I'm like, he's got to. I'm like, he's got to take that up with Uber, right? And she's like, all right, whatever. So, so I, so look, okay, look. I'll pause here for a second.
Huh?
I know, I know. I'm not even gonna ask the question. I'm not even gonna ask the question. There's more.
There's
Okay,
more?
there's more. So
Okay,
hold.
okay, 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 okay.
So just hold on. So just please, please hold all questions and responses until the end of the story. Okay,
Okay.
because I know what everybody's thinking right now. I'm thinking the same thing right now.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so okay, so uh, so the next day he comes back again
Uh-huh.
and he starts asking more questions because he's like, man, he's like, I'm asking everybody, and he was going like to every door on the strip, and he's like, hey, you know, do you guys like remember anything about like what kind of car it might have been, or something that because I see the paint is this color, and and so like so when he comes back at this instance, I'm like. I'm like, nah,
Nah, son.
I don't know. Look, I was telling the truth. I was telling the truth. I was like, nah, I don't know what color the car might have been, man. And that it made like it was white on your car. Any color car could have made that, right? It could have just been your paint coming off
Mm-hmm.
of the car. At least I told him that much, right? So he's like, all right, well, take my number, and if you know anything or hear of anything, just let me know. And I'm like, okay,
Okay.
I will. So, so the rest of the week goes by, nothing happens. Right? That
Okay.
it was like a Monday that I came back that the accident happened. Tuesday he comes back asking those questions, and then the rest of the week goes by, nothing happens. The following, I think Wednesday, he comes back again, and he's like, hey, look, I'm really just sorry to bother you guys. You guys just happen to be like within sight. Like, is there anything that you could come up with? Like, did you guys find anything, any footage or anything? And I'm like, all right, this guy's persistent, and you know what? I've led this guy on long enough, and I'm like, listen. So I'm like, hey, listen. So I told him everything. I was like, listen, last week I came home from the airport. I was driven home by an Uber. When I got out, the Uber driver reversed, and I think he hit your car because I heard a sound. And this is all facts, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see the actual crash. I was like, when
All
I was
right. You
looking
just
up, I was
heard it.
looking at the light, and I heard the sound. And I looked back, and I saw the aftermath. So I'm like, look, Uber driver dropped me off. After he dropped me off, I heard a sound. It sounded like his car hit your car. And I'm like, here. And I'm like, he's like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, really. So then I'm like, listen, here's what I can do. I'm going to go on the Uber app, and I'm going to get the license plate number of the guy for you. And you can take it up with Uber as far as how this kind of thing is handled.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, outside of that, I don't know anything. The Ring app has absolutely not picked up anything, especially because the footage deletes after a certain period of time, so they can
Mm-hmm.
maintain their bandwidth. So he's like, "Oh yeah, okay, great, thank you." And I'm like, "Okay." So I just show him. So I just have him take a picture of how they have like this person's name and the license plate, the type of car. So he got all the information he needed. And so then he's like, okay, thank you so much. And I'm like, no problem. And so I felt better about
Yeah.
the
Okay.
situation, but I also feel like I should have done something sooner. So a little bit more to the story. Then the story is over. Then you can judge if I'm the asshole or not. I think I am, but like, but uh, so um, so he texts me
Mm.
and saying like, hey, thanks so much again for giving me the information. Uber said that they can't really do anything about it, but I'm gonna try to, I guess, take it further and see what happens. And I'm like, okay, good luck. I hope it works out for you. And if there's anything else I can do, just let me know. But I've given you everything. He's like, yeah, I understand. And I'm like, okay. So that was that. I never heard from him again after that. I don't know what happened. I still have his number, and sometimes I feel like texting him like, hey, whatever happened with that? But probably nothing. I don't know. But it's a fucking shame, dude. His car was parked innocently on the side, and that shit was just like a random ass. Not
How
sure why
how bad was the hit? Like was it like, did it like peel like his door off? Like,
no, it didn't peel the door off, but it made a sizable dent in the driver's side door because he was parked facing the house. The guy was parked facing the house. So when the Uber driver backed up, he backed up straight into the driver's side door, and a bit of the front of a bit of in front of that too. So like the hubcap holding and stuff like that. So yeah, man. So I posed the question: is Xero the asshole here? And the reason why I posed the question is I probably should have said something to him right then and there. But it's kind of the wired in me, the no snitch mentality, right?
Yeah, I know. Like I'm immediately like,
shit, I didn't see nothing, but
shit.
like it's the no snitch mentality. But then again, this is someone else's property who's basically an innocent bystander and a reckless Uber driver's, whatever. Like the Uber driver at the very least should have given some insurance information or something, left it on
real
the car
talk.
Or some shit,
the real asshole, the initial asshole is the Uber driver for peeling out.
Yeah,
right?
He was like,
yeah, like bro, you
it was almost comical.
You just peeled out. You hit somebody's car and folded their door, and you just left.
Yeah.
That's a hit and run.
And it basically was. And this guy is left to pick up the pieces, literally.
Yeah, that just sucks.
So I'm like, fuck. And I did feel bad the initial time where I was like, I should have said something, but
I mean, you are kind of the asshole for not saying anything initially.
I agree. I agree.
But also, good on you for being after the third time being like, yeah, I see them, because I sure shit wanted nope. If I said no the first time, I've never seen anything ever before. It's over. The event never happened. I don't know.
Look,
there's no video footage.
No,
and you ain't got me at the scene.
That was
no shit.
I don't know what the fuck that was because the entire rest of the day, all the footage is being picked up. All of
that's
it.
Wild.
People walking up to the door, walking out of the house.
I'd have took that shit as destiny. I'd have been like, fate has decided you don't need to know.
Decided for me.
And I never would have went back. I don't know. God decided you don't need to know, and I don't know.
You're better off not knowing.
Yep. You don't need to know. It's better for you.
But at the same time, though, right? I don't know if it was the universe speaking to me and telling me, look, this dude is not going to stop coming back to you. If you don't tell him something. And I didn't listen the second time. And I was about to let him go the third time, too. And I'm like, look, listen. Look, let me just tell you, okay?
You didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it. But still,
the innate no snitching is innate.
It's built into us, dude.
Yeah, dude.
It really is. It's built into us, dude. But listen, it's cliche as fuck to say this, but if the shoe was on the other foot, if this was you, if you were in his shoes, put yourself in his shoes. I wouldn't want to be in that situation. That would be so fucked up.
And honestly, when you told me like it was his door and it hit his door and his door is like super damaged, because I'm like the initial time you're telling the story, I'm like, I'm still thinking like he might have hit his bumper, he might hit like maybe the side a little bit.
He went
But
right
you feel like if he folded his door, he like really fucked it up.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm like, yeah, you kind of gotta say something. If it was like minor damage, I'm like,
It wasn't minor. It wasn't minor. His driver's side window, it didn't like completely like break, but like.
And that's like some shit you just gotta drive around with for a while.
Yeah, there were some cracks in there, but like, right. It's like
this is shit you gotta have.
Just imagine yourself in his shoes, and you gotta pick up those pieces, man. It's like like I held out, man. I did. I held out for as long as I could, but like, and even the universe was saying too, like, look, you ain't never gonna see that footage. And like my door.
Yo, your rig camera said this. The rig camera was like,
it decided to just like close its lens cap, just like right there.
That don't hit the odds like Johnny Five.
Yo, and like
close right up.
I'm telling you, right before and like not right before, but like maybe a few minutes before and a few minutes after, the ring camera was fine. But those particular few minutes, it was like, nope, I didn't see.
Turns out the Uber driver was a hacker.
Right?
He came back and went into your feed.
Man,
delete.
Man, when I was telling you the story just now, I'm like, man, how the fuck did that footage? That's the only piece of footage that didn't show up in the entire day.
So he peeled out
24 hours.
He peeled out around the corner and went back with his laptop.
And it's like, it's crazy too, because like my door was the most direct line of sight. So like that to the accident happening, if it did happen. Strangely enough, it didn't pick me. It didn't pick up me coming to the front door.
Like your motion, right? Like
no, yeah, it didn't pick me up. In those few minutes, nothing, just a blank space. Somebody deleted the footage.
I didn't work for the CIA.
I don't know, man. It was.
Are you being watched?
It was extremely coincidental that was the only few minutes that just wasn't there. Damn. And I shit you not, like I checked multiple times. Like I was like, man, should I call Ring about this? But I'm like, nah, I ain't no snitch. Right?
What are you gonna say? Hey, my Ring didn't pick up an accident that I seen, but I said I didn't see.
Like,
I was trying to put it on Ring, but like, what am I gonna do now? I gotta tell him the truth.
Like, oh, sir, this is Ring. Was your car involved? Nah, it wasn't my car. I was being dropped off by an Uber. Like, what the fuck?
In fact, I didn't even see it. Like
fucking snitch. Like,
then I felt like, why you snitching?
It's like, why you snitching? Damn, mind your fucking business.
Oh, man.
Like,
man.
Like, in all seriousness.
Look, you just have a good heart, bro. You got a good heart. You felt guilty. You like, fine the third time.
I felt like the asshole, but he was persistent. I don't think he was going to stop coming. I really don't, because
I stopped answering the door.
No one lives here anymore.
I looked at our window like, nah, man.
It's quick. Like, I felt like an asshole the first time and the second time. And then the third time, I was like, all right, look, listen.
That was the thing, though. You got to get past the third time. After that, it gets easier.
That's true.
I don't know.
That's true. But look, I
there wouldn't be no fourth, fifth.
I put myself in his shoes. I think maybe prematurely. Prematurely, but like I put myself in his shoes, and I'm like, I wouldn't want that happening to me. I want somebody to tell me something. So
the thing is, like, man, bro, like, what? Like, the insurance company is going to be like, oh, Uber did it. Like, don't worry, we'll take care of it. Like, nah. It's just going to be fucked up. Like, is his car? Have you seen his car recently?
No, I think he, after that, he's never going to park his car there again. Like, ever. Why would he?
He got a new car. Like, he's like, I can't.
Well, maybe
there might just be another car there. Again, like, I don't know, man.
Again, I'm not 100% on how it worked out. You know, so maybe something did work out, but like, you know, hopefully I pointed him in the right direction as far as like something working out for him. But like
Yeah, you
the
did the
first
right
time,
thing.
I was like, nah, like I don't know nothing. I didn't see nothing, even though I was right there. I didn't actually see the collision, but like heard it. I was outside. It was just, you know, you were persistent.
Fifth. F-I-F.
Fifth.
Fifth.
But yeah, man. So that was my is Zero the asshole story. I was like, I was. It happened. It happened a few months ago, and I was like, man, I should bring this up to these guys at some point.
I mean, yeah, a little bit, but
I agree.
it's understandable.
I agree. I'm just like, let me finish the story, though.
Yeah,
You know, I think I
yeah.
hopefully redeemed myself in the end.
So like,
But
all
yeah,
right,
what you got, man?
so I don't know, something as a legally binding as that one, but so
This is a clear cut.
yeah. So this one though, so all right, so this one, this just kind of bothered me, right? And I was thinking about it, and I felt bad. And the issue is, at the moment, I didn't think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But almost immediately after, I was like, "Oh shit, that's kind of fucked up," right?
Okay.
So, so it's a real quick story.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Me and Claudine and the kids, we go to the we're out. We will go to the mall. We're going through Target. We're picking up some stuff, just running errands, yada yada. We split up. We're hungry. We split up, right? She takes
Mm-hmm.
the kids into Target, right? And so you know when you're going through the Target entrance at Springfield Mall,
Yeah.
um, and so you have the entrance to the mall on the side. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
we got some stuff. We're hungry, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't really like want to get a whole bunch of food we eat at home. So we're gonna get some snacks. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go grab some pretzels from Auntie Anne's, right?
Mm-hmm.
10 out of 10. I don't know how you say no to that. So
Yeah.
everybody agrees. I go, I split off, she goes to the kids, I go down the escalator, and it's weird. So as I'm walking out the corner of my eye, I see a guy stand up, and he kind of looks at me, but I'm like, okay, maybe not. Anyway, I'm moving. I'm hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that stood out to me, but anyway. So I head down the escalator. Um, I'm going down the escalator. I just tie my hair back, and the guy's like, "Hey, excuse me." And I turn around, and it's the dude. He's a kind of a stocky Asian guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he asked me about my necklace, this ankh here.
Your uncle. Yeah.
He's like, "What is that?" He's like, "I seen it in a video game, but what is that?" So, I tell him it's like ancient Egyptian symbol, means life, yada yada yada, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about it for a minute, right? And he talked about how he saw it in Marvel Rivals, and he saw Moon Knight had it,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, he didn't know what it was. So, I was like, oh yeah, cool. Any opportunity, right, to talk about Ox, I'm all in.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we're standing outside of like Five and Below for a minute. We talking. So I tell him about like how it's in other media. I tell him about uh Dr. Fate, and we start talking
Yeah.
about video games and stuff. So we start talking about Monster Hunter. We start talking about Street Fighter and all these kinds of like just a whole bunch of media, the movies. We just like talking. We're vibing. We chilling, we
Yeah.
vibing, and we having a good conversation, right? And I'm just like, it's cool. Uh, and then he's like, so I'm like, all right, I'm about to go. I gotta go grab food for the kid and everything. And he's like, all right, well, yeah, I like to keep in touch. And I was like, nah, that's cool, man. I got them. And then like I went and got the pretzels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, all right, cool, cool. And he left. And then I was just like, as I'm going to walk to get to the pretzel, I'm like, maybe I should have kept in touch with him. Like, why did I just be like, nah, son? And I started like thinking about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
was this I guess, all right. So in my mind, I'm like, is this guy hitting on me?
Oh shit.
And like here's the thing. I don't think he was. And that's where the am I the asshole part of it is my thought that he might have been hitting on me, what made me immediately turn down the opportunity to have like to talk to a guy and just be friends with a guy I just met, right? It's just like some kind of like low level homophobia that I just like I have like hard coded into me. Because as I turned around and as I walked, you know, and it was no big deal. It was like we dabbed, it was cool, and you know, we just went our separate ways. But it was like I was like, was I an asshole for just like denying like a potential friend just cause I thinking that he was hitting on me? Am I an asshole for thinking he was hitting on me? And so I told Claude, I told my wife about this show, and she was like, but she was to me like, no, yeah, you're the asshole. Like you're an asshole for that. Like you probably should have just been like, you know, cool with them and you know, whatever. And I was like, ah, yeah. So yeah, that's really it. Like I went and got the stuff. Like we got the stuff we were looking for, and we were eating pretzels the whole time. It was great. But like, yeah, that just sat with me for a while. I was like,
all right. Well, I got some questions. Let me straight up say, I think maybe you might be more inclined to being the asshole, but I got questions. So first question is, were your spider senses tingling when you were talking with this guy? Maybe at first they always are, right? But like as the conversation went on, like, you know, you said you guys were vibing, like, but did you get the sense that maybe he was attracted to you? Or it was just two guys having a conversation about shit that you're both interested in?
I think it was just two guys. And the more I thought about it in hindsight, I'm like, we were just talking. He didn't like, there was no like gestures or anything that made me think that he was like coming on to me. We were just talking.
Well, there's a
but
lot
I'm not
more
used to like, yeah. I don't think
conversations
there was
like
anything
that.
like, yeah, like I'm not used to like being approached. I'm a bearded dude. I'm a bearded black dude with locks. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get approached very often by another guy to like chat about video games because he saw me wearing an Ankh.
That's
Like,
fair.
but it's not that he was weird. Other than the fact I thought it was weird we had so much in common.
Did it was the conversation kind of like, was he just agreeing with everything that you were saying?
No,
You know,
like
or
he
saying
had
like,
context.
hey, I
like
like this. Oh, I like this too. You
yeah,
know.
no, it was like question and like answers. Like so, it was a lot. He would ask a question, and then I would answer it, and I would tell him a reference point, and he would like be aware of my reference point. So we would talk about the reference point, whatever. You know, just like a conversation going back and forth around. We started talking about Monster Hunter weapons and weapons of choice, right?
Okay.
And this is like we were talking about shit we were into, but like. And again, there was no justice, and that's what made me think like, but was my spider sense tingling only in the fact that I'm not approached at all, ever, if at all, often on some like conversational shit with somebody I don't know, let alone like an Asian dude or any dude.
Did that lend itself to the whole am I being hit on? Like, you know, because it doesn't happen to you so often. You're like, oh, is he hitting on me?
I think so.
Okay. What makes you assume, like, I was gonna ask, like, what makes you assume that he was or wasn't hitting on you, and if he was hitting on you, would that be so bad? Like, you could just say like, nah, I'm not interested, but we could still be cool.
You know? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so yeah, I guess I can. Again, it was like such. For me, it was so automatically like, nah, son, I'm good. Like I just kind of said it before I realized I'd said it.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe I was intent on the pretzels, or maybe it was just, I don't know. But like it was he was like, yeah, maybe we can keep in touch. I was like, nah, I'm good, and I just dapped it and then rolled. And I'm telling you, like, it was so automatic that it wasn't until I stepped into the line 15 feet later, I was like,
why did I say that?
why did I say no? Like,
Yeah.
you know, and like maybe
Well,
that's just like, yeah, I don't know. I started like analyzing myself.
well,
I guess there's other context I
like
can add.
there's other context you could add. Like what?
Well, uh, past experiences with
Uh
guys I thought were cool in college
huh.
that were like ended up making offers that I wasn't expecting.
You mean hitting on you?
Like hitting on me, and like, yeah, yeah, hitting on me. Let's leave it
Okay.
at that.
Okay. Okay.
Like, yeah, that I was
Well.
not expecting, and I was like, oh, I thought we were just cool,
Uh,
but not that we weren't cool after that. Other than I guess it was too awkward to like talk after
to
that.
bring that up.
Yeah, like, or
Yeah.
even like I swear, like, okay, so like there was a homie I was hanging out with back in college. It was like my junior year. We hung out like pretty often.
Mhm.
We played video games, smoked weed. Like we went to like games and shit. Like we were just chilling. And then like one night it was just me and him chilling. Nobody was around, and he offered me like head, and I was just like, ah, thanks, but nah, I'm good.
Nah.
Saying nah, I'm good. He like tried to convince me for a while, and I was like,
Oh
I'm
damn.
really not into that. But I
Damn.
wasn't like, I
It's
tried to
like
not be rude. I was like, this is weird. Like
it's a
I'm not.
weird, yeah, it's a super fucking weird situation.
It's like I can't be like. I wasn't like, no, fuck. I was none of that. I was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm not really like, I'm I'm good. Thank you though. Like I don't know, what do I say? Thank you. Like no,
do you
I'm right. But like
do
that
you
was one of like three occasions.
oh
And it's
damn.
just like,
Damn.
and it's just like, okay, yeah.
Let me ask, would you have felt differently if it was just you in the mall? Like not without Claudine and the kids?
No.
Would you have felt, would you have approached that differently, like random dude just kind of like calling on you just to ask about your aunt and then starting a conversation? Because thinking about it, like there could be so many reasons why that dude just wanted to start talking to you. So many, right?
Like I
One of them probably what you're thinking, right? Like that's not out of the realm of
maybe.
possibility. But like,
Or we could just be another guy looking for a connection.
right?
Like, which
It
is
could
one
have
of
been
the
that too.
things that
It could,
guys need. Like
yeah,
we
we need to do
just
more
a
of.
man like out here,
Yeah,
like we're trying to make friends. He's out here trying to connect with people, and I'm like, I need friends. And I'm just like, but I immediately was just like, maybe I
nah. Well, that's the
nah,
reason.
son, right here.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I ask about, like, you know, if because maybe it was because you were with Claudine and the kids that you were like, you automatically, I guess, felt maybe a sense of protection that you
No,
needed to protect yourself and them, excuse me, from anyone else, because y'all were just there as a family to do what you needed to do and go home, you know, and like maybe this wasn't the time. So I don't know if that played into it at all, but like I'm just asking if like that might have at
I
some
don't think
point.
so. I'm
No,
telling you, like
okay.
it was so the reject, like it was
It was an
so fast. I
automatic.
did. It was so automatic. Like it was wild. Like it was wild to me.
Interesting.
And it's just because it's like I just wouldn't have. I'm I'm
It
never
doesn't happen.
approached.
Yeah, it
If
doesn't happen.
it like being approached is part of the alarm, right? Not
Hmm.
that I was like nervous or whatever, but the whole time I'm looking. The whole time we're talking, we're having a good conversation. I'm not like we're vibing, but the whole time I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like,
Hmm.
what do you want? right?
Yeah. That's, I mean, that's, like I said before, most people, like, the spider senses tingling in the beginning. Like, what the
Hmm.
fuck you doing talking to me? I don't know who you are. This is weird. But then,
And we were in the mall. It's not like
you know,
we're at an event that we were
you have
like
something in
in the,
common.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
to go
had
for a
something in
reason.
common. We're in the mall between Five Below and Auntie Anne's. Like,
Yeah. It's, I mean, like, I, I mean, look, I think maybe you should have given him more of a chance,
hmm
but, you know, maybe you walked away from something bad or dangerous. You never know,
you never know.
so something told you to say no, right? And maybe that's something that you might just, maybe that's, you could have, maybe you missed out on something cool or something not so cool, but you never know. You
Yeah.
did what you did, but, like, I would say I'm more inclined to say, like, you should have given him more of a chance.
hmm
Like, and then, you can kind of figure out, with time, if, like, maybe this was a bad idea or a good
Yeah, like
idea.
later, I'm
You
like,
know,
oh
yeah, you're
yeah,
like, I see.
oh,
So,
you're the cable guy. Like,
yo, yo, can I tell you? Can I tell you? We'll get back to your story in a minute, right?
uh,
But, like, can I tell you, like, something very similar happened to me. Um, this is me and Izzy. No, it was just me, but I got Izzy involved, and I almost regret it, to this day. But, like, this is when this is before meeting you guys. Like, before meeting you, like, before I met you. Um, so I was at a Harris Teeter, right? Um, One day, and I was wearing my Under Armour shirt. It was a Tough Mudder Under Armour shirt,
uh,
and there I was at the register, and there was this guy, Asian guy,
mhm.
right? Coincidence? I don't know, but, like,
Yeah.
he was ahead of me at the register, and he was about to get his bags and leave, and he turns around, he sees my shirt, he's like, "Hey, did you do Tough Mudder?" I'm like, "Oh, nah, it was just a shirt that they were selling for charity that I bought." And he's like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." He's like, "Well, you look like you," and I'm like, "Oh, I guess a little," but then it kind of, I don't know how it happened, but we started talking about stuff, right? Just having a conversation.
Yeah.
So somehow I think we were there like 20 minutes just talking to each other. So it was the same thing where this guy is like, "Hey man, like, I live really close by, and it's me and my wife. It's me and my wife who live in the house." And I'm like, "Where do you guys live about?" And he described the same neighborhood that we lived in, which is very fucking rare, because we
hmm
lived out in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, "Really?" I'm like, "I think you live, like, down the street from us." And so, he's like, "Hey man, if you want to come by, hang out, just have dinner sometime." And I'm like, "All right, sure." So this is an instance where I took the next step, right? Like, I was just like, "Yeah, sure, okay." So I take this guy's number, and we start texting, and I tell him about Izzy. There's no Mouses in the picture at this point. It's that long
hmm
ago.
Yeah.
Uh, and so it winds up happening that um, we go out to dinner, double date, and everything's cool. And then that's when I find out that he does live, like, down the street from me. It's like a 2-minute walk. And so we're texting, we're becoming friends. The girls are talking to each other. I'm talking to the dude. And then it winds up that one night he invites us to his house for, like, a party. And so we go to this party, and um, we're the first to show up. And then some of his other friends start showing up. And man, I'm telling you, I got the weirdest fucking vibe. from all of these people, and the vibe was enhanced. The vibe was enhanced for the individual that I befriended
Mm-hmm.
because of these people. I got a weird fucking vibe for these from these people. Like I'm talking like cultish vibes from
Oh.
these people. Like it was weird. It seemed like every single person was like a character in like a murder mystery or some shit. It was weird. Like you had like the sporty girl, and the sporty girl, and the loud guy, and the quiet guy, and the quiet girl, and the married couple, who
Mm-hmm.
it was like it was fucking weird. Like I was like my spider senses started tingling once everyone was together in the same room, and I was like, oh no,
I've
okay.
had. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
I
oh
felt that
no.
before.
I'm like, oh no, this is there's something wrong. So, the evening, nothing happened. Nothing happened. There was no like real harm that came to anybody or anything. It was fun. It was fun-ish for them, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm not sure if Izzy got the same vibe, but I immediately had a bad feeling about like all of that, right? So we let the evening play out, and I did the whole made up an excuse like, hey, uh, got to get up early tomorrow. We got something that we need to do. We got to take our dogs out. They've been waiting and stuff or something.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh okay. Everybody's like, oh okay. But like, dude, like, could not get out of there fast enough. While we're walking home, I start talking to Izzy. I'm like, hey, I don't know about you, but I had a really not great feeling about those people. And she's like, yeah, I don't know what it was. And I'm like, I don't either. But then we silently decided to ourselves we're never going to talk to them again. Right?
Yeah.
A couple days later, this guy texts me, and he's like, hey man, it was great having you. And then he comes at me with this whole, hey man, like, you, like, all of my friends really loved you guys, and they think that you're really cool people, and hey, I just wanted to see if you wanted to come over again one night, and maybe we could talk. I wanted to talk to you about something. And I'm like, now this is really feeling fucking weird, because that sounds like a pyramid scheme,
Yep.
Ponzi scheme, join my cult, uh, something fucking weird,
Either gonna tell
right?
you about the Lord and Savior
So
or
right,
tell you how to sell
about
deodorant.
Jesus Christ, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's fucking weird. It was fucking weird, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, hey, sure, yeah, let me. I'm gonna be really busy these next couple of weeks because I'm actually moving, which was true. That was actually
Mm-hmm.
true. I'm moving to Alexandria in like a month, and like things are like gonna be crazy. But let me see what happens. See what if I can fit you in. He's like, yeah, okay, sure, cool. Never get back to him. Uh, funnily enough, funnily enough. So by this point, I had met you guys, right? Like, and
Oh
we,
yeah.
we all became cool, as you know, right? And so I was actually on my way to class when Sella was still teaching. I was on my way to class. I was like 2 blocks away from class, and I get a text. I get another text from this guy, and he's like, "Hey, man, haven't heard from you in a while. Is everything good? How did the move go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's been pretty crazy. The move was good. Just settling in. Got some things going on. Been pretty busy, And he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Yeah, I just wanted to know if you wanted to hang out, so we could still talk about that thing I wanted to talk to you about." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And after that, blocked him immediately. Just never called him again. Never bothered with that individual again. Never saw him again either. But
Yeah.
it was so strange, man. So
That's
like,
what you're about.
this is an instance where I gave it a shot,
Mm-hmm.
and things just, my spider sense started tingling strongly after that point. So again, going back to you, maybe you walked away from something. Maybe there was a reason why you were instinctively like, nah. You
Yeah,
know,
maybe.
like maybe if it truly felt cool to you and you were vibing and it felt right to you, maybe, then you would have been, you would have been like, yeah, sure. Because for me, in that instance, it was like, yeah, sure. He seemed like a cool guy, right? And then we
And
go
you were
to,
like new to the area,
was
right?
that?
And you were kind of like new to the
Yes,
area
yes,
too. And
sort
this
of.
is like,
Yes, yes.
part of the whole, like, being in a new place is finding new people, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So you
exactly.
just
New
like,
people
you
to hang
popped
out
up.
with. So like it could be, you
And that's
never know.
exactly why I'm not there, right? I'm not looking for new people. So
Right.
when somebody approaches me, I'm like, what do you want?
You're on
Like,
guard.
yeah, like,
Yeah, you're on
okay, what's
guard.
up?
And
What do you want?
honestly, I think that's most adults, right? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with some kind of sense where they're like, this is there's something wrong, or like if someone approaches you randomly, if someone approached me randomly, I'm like, the fuck, like, who would you like? What's going on here? But like, just like the same guy, just like you're the gentleman that approached you, the guy approached me about something I was wearing, like my shirt, and started up a conversation just based on my shirt, and then just started talking about stuff.
Bro, hold
So
on,
it was a
man.
similar
Remember
story,
I
man.
told you at the corner of my eye, I saw him.
Yeah, I saw him looking at you.
He was with like three other people.
Really?
He was. They all stood up around the same time and they were talking. And then he came and started talking to me. Like I know
Huh?
I saw him at the corner of my eye because I was surprised when the guy said, he said, "Hey, excuse me," and I turned around and it was him because I had left him. Like he was like,
Maybe it could have
you're
been.
walking. They were sitting in the area by the Starbucks,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
They were sitting there by the Starbucks. Wife and kids went this way. I went this way,
Mm.
right? We split up like that. They were sitting back there. I go down the escalator. It's like 20 steps, and he's behind me.
Mm.
Like either he chased me down,
Hmm.
and I hadn't thought about it at that point. And I at the time I did kind of wonder, like,
Was he like
I
undercover
remember,
missionaries?
dude, I remember looking back up the escalator, like, what happened to the other guys?
Yeah. I mean, like, could it have been like undercover missionaries or something?
That's definitely a thing.
Because
But
that whole like I love to keep in touch. It's like ooh,
right, I don't know, man. I like us to keep in touch. I've no dude has ever told me that.
that
Like
didn't want something. Yeah,
that didn't want something,
that
right?
didn't want something. Yeah,
Like I have y'all contact information, yours, and like the people I know because we were doing stuff together.
yeah,
It's kind of
yeah,
like we contact as necessity,
yeah. As it
right?
necessitates, right? Yeah,
Like because we're doing stuff, but like
right.
I don't know.
That's it's. I mean, it's gonna
Mm,
remain a mystery, but like
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
I'm still gonna say I'm an asshole for. I
I
still
feel
think
like
I'm an asshole,
I feel like
but
I feel like you could have given it more of a chance, but give it a chance, give it a chance to breathe, and give it a chance to like see if there's some other agenda in play.
hmm
So like yeah, man, but still like your guards up naturally. So you never know.
interesting. You
We'll
never
never
know.
know.
Because I
We'll
did
never
wonder
know.
what happened to those guys. I swear it was like it was two or
They were
it was
probably
either
trying to get
two
at
or
other
other
people.
three. Yeah. Then they were sitting there, and I
Were they
remember
dressed
them
the
all kind
same?
of standing up around the same time.
Were they all
And
dressed the
I
same?
and no, they weren't. They weren't. They were dressed casually. Like dude was just wearing a t-shirt and jeans.
Hmm. Missionary wear.
Right.
Undercover missionary wear.
Right. Cult attire.
That's
Speaking of cult
interesting.
attire,
Hmm.
I joined the Unitarian Church. Well, I didn't join, but I went.
Oh,
So
word.
yeah, that
Okay.
was cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot that was another thing that happened. So we
Cool,
went to
man.
Easter last one. But anyway, that
Oh,
was
cool.
cool. Yeah. But so yeah, speaking of cults, right?
Damn.
No, they're not cults. They're not cultish. They're not cultish. They're actually pretty cool. They're all a little bit nerdy, but I like that. But
Okay.
Yeah, that was there. I do feel better about that decision. I ain't gonna lie. You told me that story. I'm like, and
Well, it was.
I've been in the situation where you're in a room
Uh-huh.
and the vibe is off, and you're
Yes.
just like,
You
and
feel
I
it.
don't know what it
You
is,
feel it. You
but things
feel it.
start clicking. Like shit starts making
Dude,
sense.
I shit you not. I shit you not. We were like, so I remember this specifically
You're like, I gotta
in
get
the
the fuck up
room.
out of here.
Like, yeah, that it was like it was a moment. It was a
Mm-hmm.
moment where I
You were
was
sure.
like, I gotta go. Like, I gotta go. I gotta go. Like, we have to go.
Yeah.
Right? We gotta
Yeah.
go. Like it was like I remember there was like the sporty girl, right? The sport. We were playing like a board game of some kind. I don't even
Mm-hmm.
remember what fucking game it was, but it was kind of like a charades like game where you had to kind of like act out like a thing, and so it was like you had to put two things together and then act out like what the item would be. It was
Mm-hmm.
fucking weird. Anyway, so the sporty girl was like kind of like dancing around. She's like sunshine and rain, you know, like kind of like the play, like
Uh-huh.
sunshine and rain and sunshine and rain. And I'm like, I was looking at her. She was like, she was in my line of sight. She was in.
All I see the equations start
Yo,
flying across your
yo,
face.
yo, not yo. Like it was
Like
like
E equals MC.
yo.
Like,
It's like
just
just
looking at
pop,
her like,
it was like just popping up and going in front of. Yo, she was in my line of sight, right? She was in my line
mm-hmm.
of sight. I was sitting down at the table. Izzy was sitting next to me on this side, and she was in my line of sight doing her little dance to act her act. And as she would cross my line of sight, it was like my face went from this, my face went from like this to dead ass, dude. No,
Yo,
dead ass.
son.
Just dead ass. I was just like, it was that moment. Cause like everything else was weird, right? Like everything else was weird. There was another moment where it was like a moment before that
Fucking
where
overplayed her hand.
they, several of them did because
Yeah.
they were such characters, right? Like it was
Oh,
like they were written. It's like they were written out to like recruit people into their fucking weird, fucking
fucking
twisted, whatever
scripted.
the fuck they wanted out of me and Izzy or whatever. But like, yo, so like, I was showing the guy. I think his name was Andrew. I'm gonna say
Mm-hmm.
Andrew. I was showing Andrew a YouTube video
Mm-hmm.
about this guy. About you've probably seen this guy on YouTube. It's the guy who makes. This is the Indian guy who like makes things based on what they're named, and he completely fucks it up. Right, like this guy's like you've definitely seen him, but he's like,
Okay.
you know, like I made an electric guitar, right? So I took a guitar and I put these like power lines on the guitar and to make it an electric guitar. What's so hard about
What?
that? And then he fucking tries to play this electric guitar and he fucking gets shocked the shit out of. Like I'm talking like
What?
drops the phone, all the lighting drops, and he's on the floor like just fucking like right? Fucking hilarious. Right? Fucking hilarious. But like at the time this was pretty popular, right?
Uh-huh.
And I showed this video to Andrew, and for some reason his reaction to it was a little too, I want to say, animated. I want to say it was a little too animated. Like, oh, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh,
Oh,
and I'm
geez.
like, that was
Oh,
a weird
no.
reaction. You know, like that was strange.
Goddamn
So,
aliens.
so, so
Trying
then
to
like,
trying to pretend to be human and shit.
so, who
He
fucking
said,
knows?
that was entertaining.
Yo,
Yo, what the fuck, man?
it was fucking show, and like on top of that too with following that YouTube thread.
Uh-huh.
Yo, like it was so strange because like it seemed like he didn't know how to YouTube, right? It's like he didn't know.
Oh, what the fuck?
Like how to. He didn't know there were certain things he didn't know how to do, but then there were like videos that he was trying to show me, and he was having the most trouble, like the most trouble, like talking about like, oh, where's the search bar, and I'm just like, what? You know, like, but at the time I was like, ah, you know, I'm like,
Jesus.
oh, I'm like, aw, he dumb, right? But
He's
like,
stupid.
he's stupid. but like, you know, it didn't click for me then. But then for some reason, when the sporty girl started doing her fucking dance, it was like this, like it was like confusion and curiosity to epiphany. I was like, okay, something's wrong now. All right, something is completely wrong with all of this. We gotta go. And I shit you not, we were gone in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like after that, I'm like, we gotta go.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was. You feel it.
And I believe, yeah.
Feel
Fucking, feel like that shit's only happened to me like once in my life. And it's
that's
literally
the only time
like,
that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, and you're like, you're positive. You're 100%. Like, you're certain. Like, no.
100%. Nope. Not
this is wrong. Here. We gotta go.
Yep.
Gotta get out of here. Like, that's crazy how that shit happens. But it's like, yeah, fucking follow that instinct.
Yeah. Follow your gut.
That's crazy, dude. Because, like, there's been enough instances in our lives where we've been, like, around other people and haven't had that. So where when that shit pops up,
yeah.
Nah, son, gotta go.
I mean,
that's crazy.
Because you can't account for like all different types of social interactions. There are so many different types of people, but like, there are moments where your body is screaming at you. You gotta go.
Yeah.
You don't be here any longer.
Like something's
wrong.
Something's wrong.
Something's really wrong, and that instance was where I felt it. And you know, I don't know if you felt it with the dude that approached you about your ankh, but like,
no, not that time. Other than I was just like, man, what the fuck?
But you never know. It could have.
What do you want? Yeah, probably.
It could have led to something like that, but like, yeah, man. So.
Or they'd be selling my.
Selling your organs.
Selling my liver parts and shit. Selling my kidneys and shit.
Selling your organs.
Yeah. Like,
I'd look at that. I'm like, hey, I think I know that. that liver.
Yeah, those lungs.
Like, let me see what kind mine's doing right now. Like, yo, you see this? Looks familiar, doesn't it? Yeah, that's mine, nigga.
That's my nigga. Those are my kidneys,
nigga.
Hey, grab them. I've been looking for them.
I'm like, yo, they're expensive, dog.
Damn. Yeah, nah, that's crazy, yo. That is too wild, man. Mm-mm. Yeah, though. Can't do it.
Well,
yeah.
Again, you never know. Like, you know, maybe you should have given it more of a chance, but then you never know. You could have wound up in a situation like.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
you know,
I felt bad in hindsight, but at the time I was like, I just kept thinking like, what do you want, man? Because I remember, like, my whole thing is like, I remember what it was like back in the day, hitting on girls. Like, you just talk to girls, and you go up and you find a piece to talk to them about, right? And that's how like you interacted sometimes. And it was never like, I was never a guy who yelled across the street. Like, you go and you talk to them, and you like, hey yo, like, no, he's like, hey, like, those earrings are amazing. Where'd you get them? Well, you just talk, and
man, yeah,
and it always comes down to like, all right, so can I get your number?
Yeah, you know, all the
and so when a dude is like, yeah, we should keep in touch, I'm like,
nah.
Nah, son. Take it easy, bro. Nah. Yeah. It just felt weird. Maybe it wasn't homophobia, maybe, but it was definitely like, I don't know what you want.
I don't. You know, based on your past experience, you know, maybe there's fear of something like that happening again. But like, it's still. I
mean, I felt bad. I mean, considering like dude back in the day, like I felt bad. I was like, yo, you know, we're cool. Like, we can still be cool. You know, but yeah, I guess it was too awkward. It was.
You played his hand.
Yeah. Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoot your shot. Yeah. It's weird.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, man.